Hello and welcome to week 5 of AC1520, Managerial Accounting and Decision Making. This is the final week, so you want to make sure to get everything in as of the end of week 5, whether it be late work or current work. There can't be any late work as of the end of the final week, so make sure to get everything in there as of Sunday of week 5. Remember that the contact information is down here. If you have any questions, we've got the email address, we've got the phone number, we've got the last office hours. I believe we will keep it this time at Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It is in a a question and answer format, not a lecture format. So if you have questions, that time is carved out for you. We have the call-in number. You want to call in first if you want to ask questions during that time, and then we can use the screen share software as needed in order to work through problems if we need to at that time. Going to scroll down to week 5, the final week, the current week that we will be in. We have the familiar layout, that layout being the objectives, then the topics, and then the lesson. We're only going to be covering one chapter this time. It is a fairly long chapter, but it's only one, so we may have some more time to catch up on any late work or final things that need to be caught up within the final week. We're going to be talking about managerial decisions, so we're going to talk about some larger kind of managerial type decisions that could come up and the systematic process that a manager could go through to make some of these larger, more complex decisions, as well as how to deal with some common issues that people just have in decision making, including things like sunk cost effect. How can we logically go through the decision-making process to reduce or eliminate those types of natural tendencies for everybody? We then have the lectures here, so you can click here to get the lectures and watch through those. Everything from the discussion on down is what needs to get done within the homework and the assignments. So remember that you want to check everything off within Moodle Rooms, although most of the work will be done in Connect. You want to get in the habit of checking it off in Moodle Rooms because although most of the work will be done in Connect up here, it will all be listed in Moodle Rooms. Therefore, you want to check it off within Moodle Rooms. So first thing we have here is the discussion forum. So to get full credit on the discussion forum, you're going to need at least 4 posts. I would post more than 4 posts. I would post like 7 or 8 times just to make sure to pick up full credit. Discussion forums, remember, worth 21% of the grade. You want to get full credit on the 21% of the grade, 100% of the 21%. So make sure to post to there. Remember that if you copy or paste something from the internet, that's okay. Just make sure to reference it. Do not plagiarize. And to get full credit for a post like that, you want to rephrase it in your own words or give an argument as to whether you agree with or disagree with what you found on the internet in terms of research. We then have everything from the assignments, the homework, and the quiz, which is the final at this time. This will be in Connect, so these will be in Connect. So I'm going to go up here, McGrawHill Connect, and we have the familiar layout at this time. So we've got the Learn Smarts. Remember, there's only about 25 of those. Both of them are on 25, so you might want to do both of these in Chapter 25 before then moving on to the longer assignments here, these being longer assignments. And we have 2 of these, going to be the similar format that we have seen in the past, in that the paper clips are not something that you need to turn in. There's something that will help out with the assignment. If you open the paperclip, you will then get an Excel document. That Excel document can then help you to complete the problem. So if, for example, if you opened up this paperclip related to this problem, you would get this Excel document. We have the link that will go to an instructional video. We have the example problem that can help you out with the current problem. Numbers will change, but the format will be much the same. And then we have the worksheet that could help you with this problem. Now, some of these problems have more calculations involved because they're involved with managerial decision making. So the Excel sheet may be actually really good in these cases because it can help you with the calculations and how to do those calculations a bit faster than possibly a calculator could do. So maybe even more so than some others, it might be good to do the Excel sheet even though you don't need to turn it in, because it will help you with the calculations and do some of those things that the calculator would do. All right, going back to the information here, we got the final, of course. Remember, the final is going to be worth the most points, obviously, so you want to make sure to get the final in there before Sunday. Cannot generally make up the final, can't generally make up anything at this point because it's the final week. But the final being worth the most points, you want to make sure to get that in if you run into a time constraint. Going back to Moodle Rooms up here, back to Moodle Rooms. So going through all this, I'm going to go up to the grade book at this point, up to the grade book on the left-hand side, green icon. So grade books, normal rules, everything needs to be in there by the end of the week. I have until Tuesday to then grade it, and then you want to check the grades at that time. So for example, week 4 will end on Sunday. I will have the grades populated by Tuesday, and therefore things like the discussion forum will turn from a dash in week 4 to hopefully 100%, because everybody's shooting for 100% on that. Same with the assignments, same with the quizzes, same for the homework. As of the end of week 4, if you have any zeros within these areas, you want to see if you can go back and do the late work at that time. Anything that's done in week 5 in terms of work, whether it be homework for week 5 or late work for prior weeks, then will be graded by the end of the following week. I have until Tuesday to do that. I'm going to try to get it in there by Monday. Remember that everything is due on Sunday, but the grades push out of my hands by Tuesday. So if you have any questions, or if there's any kind of problems that we need to work out, or if there was a time constraint or something, you have to contact me immediately, and we might be able to work something out within that short time frame window between the close of the class on Sunday and the time that the course and the grades are completely out of my hands for the most part by Tuesday. So keep that in mind. You want to check the grades by Monday and make sure that everything is as you think it should be. And if you have any questions, then contact me immediately before the grades are out of my hand after the close of the class on Sunday, and then the grades will be out of my hands by Tuesday. Now also, there is an option that if someone had an unusual circumstance, like they went to the hospital, or they're sick or something like that, that is unusual, then, and that prevented someone from completing the course on time, it's possible to try to file for an incomplete. If you want to ask about that process, then contact me on that as well. It would be a 2-week incomplete. I don't suggest doing it unless it's a last resort to do it, because what happens is sometimes the incomplete doesn't fully, it's hard to process. We want to make sure it gets processed, and that can be difficult. Also, it leads to more problems in the next mod, because of course now we've got to complete this class, and we have 2 new classes that we're going to be completing at the same time. So, but if there is anybody that falls into that category and wants to look into a 2-week extension incomplete based on something unusual, based on something like, you know, a hospital visit or a family went to the hospital or something unusual like that, then contact me and we can go through that as well. So that's going to be it for the final week, week 5. So have a good week 5. And then we have the instructor survey down here. This is mainly geared towards the instructor's performance and not geared so much towards things that the instructor does not have control over. So some of the things that the instructor does not have control over are the amount of material that's going to be in the course, the use of technologies such as Connect, and the Moodle Room setup, how Moodle Room is set up. If you have questions about those things, then please put those into the comments in the survey, and I will relay those. Hopefully we can relay those to the design team, who is the one in charge of that type of stuff. The information that the instructor does have control over is basically how fast they get back to student comments, you know, how much they're going to post to the discussion forum, to any added resources on top of the McGrawHill and Moodle Rooms added for use and benefit of students. Those are the types of things there. Charter College policy generally expects around a 90% for instructor performance on those.